me, Josh Hunter. I'm presently in the city of Santa Monica, California, and I want to make sure that I've made something very clear, that I've communicated this. You perhaps have not, like, if you're watching this, you may not know me very well, and I think it's important you know some things about me. Okay, I love locks. Okay, I love like a lock. I like the idea of like something just like, you know, like some inescapable thing. And if you watch another one of my videos, I did mention something called the unswoopable 10 of 10s. I'm not going to describe it here, but if you get there, then so I've been, pretty fond of locks for a while, and I just want to let you know something, okay? If you are someone who has like stolen something from me, what you are basically saying to me is that you're going to give me back at least double or more what you've stolen from me. So if you know for certain that something belongs to me, Joshua Hunter, Joshua Aaron Hunter, you have to realize that whatever you steal from me, you are saying basically that you're going to give me double or more. That's what a lock is. So I don't necessarily control this. I mean, I reinforce my locks, but I don't get retribution. Okay, something that because I believe in mathematics, and I don't know if mathematics is a lock, but if mathematics is real, then justice is inevitable. And I never try to get vengeance. That's not something that I do. I get the idea that like a lot of people think it's like a good idea to steal from me. Like it's just like, oh, we should steal from this guy because he doesn't exist or whatever. And that's fine, I guess. I mean, not for me anyway, because I'm just making more money. But I'm saying this because sometimes you may think it's a good idea to steal from me, and then you end up having to pay me double. But then there are people who are dependent upon you, and then they lose too. I'm not concerned about your decisions and trying to gain things that don't belong to you. But sometimes there are innocent people around you who really don't need to be going through all this. So I'm saying this because for some reason I was just reminded about 3 years ago, maybe two and a half years, either 2 years ago or 3 years ago, I found a diamond bracelet in front of the Betelgeuse Theater. And I took it to a pawn shop, and I remember when I took it to this pawn shop, like these guys were so nervous. I'm like, what are they nervous about? They're like, this is yours, right? I'm like, yeah, I found it in front of the Betelgeuse Theater. And I waited for like 10 or 15 minutes just in case somebody, was like, maybe it was somebody else's. So I sold it, and it was $176 that I got back. And so then I went down the street. It was on La Brea. And so I went all the way down to the Best Buy no, it wasn't Best Buy, it was GameStop. I traded it in for $176. I went to GameStop and I bought a PlayStation Vita. It's like a handheld portable console. It was really fucking neat. And in fact, just before I got there, someone gave me $1 just before I went in. And I bought it, and it was like $176 and like some change. So that $1 that I got was just enough. And it was really neat. Because I hadn't gotten to play video games in a while. Not like with like the buttons, tactile. Like I like the controller, like that type of thing. And then it got stolen. It got stolen while I was sleeping. And somebody just walked by and they just took it. And I had a very bad reaction to that. Because the thing is, I can't fight. I can't throw a punch. I'm not gonna use knives or guns. But like, I really needed that at that time. Like, I really needed that. Like, it was essential. And so I immediately became suspicious of a camp of homeless people. And I went up to them and I said, who has my fucking PlayStation Vita? I don't care about like other stuff, because they took my entire bag. My ID was in there. There was like a cross. There was various other things. I had purchased a little toy like Thor's hammer, and I went to the homeless camp. I said, "Look, I don't care who took it. Just give it back, and there's not going to be any trouble." And they're like, "Fuck you. We'll kill you." And they started getting like chains and all this stuff, and I'm like, "All right." And so that was like a couple of years ago. I don't know the date. It was either 2017 or 2018. But I have not yet received a replacement PlayStation Vita. So that's telling me something. So, I'm saying all this because there are certain things which are obvious to me, which apparently are not obvious to everyone. For example, you cannot go into outer space and try and build colonies out there because there's not enough water on the planet. If people keep having sex, they're going to keep having children. Okay? There's a fixed amount of water on the Earth. So what makes you think you're going to be able to survive in outer space? To me, that is obvious. But apparently it's not obvious to the people spending billions of dollars on a space program. Do you understand what's going on? So, I would really like you to understand this. Not because I care about you particularly. Like whoever it is that thinks they're going to be able to steal from me and get away with it. But there are people who think that like you are like the person that they should be around. And, or maybe you got kids, sisters, whoever. And they're like, I should stay close to this person because they care about you, but wisdom has not directed them as to what the proper course of action is. I want to make sure those people aren't like needlessly involved in like suffering, needless suffering. So I'm trying to. This is mainly for them, so it's not for you. I'm just saying this because I feel like something's. I mean, I say this all the time, and who knows? Maybe I just like the idea of like drama or whatever. I'm just like saying this so something can happen or whatever. Maybe I'm. But I do have locks. I can't necessarily enforce them at this time on account of. That's classified. Anyway, so I just wanted to say that. I think there was something else. Oh yeah, okay. So I've been trying out this new thing. I've been working on my Bill Cosby accent because for a while I've tried to do my Bill Cosby accent and I don't know. I felt like it wasn't landing, but I felt like there's been enough time that's passed that I can do it. So I wanna try a new thing. I don't know if I'll ever try it on this video, but I wanna try and when I'm only saying something serious, I'm gonna use my Bill Cosby accent. So that you understand what it means. Because when I say the word Bill Cosby, people aren't laughing. That's something for some reason, because I say tons of things that are extremely serious, but nobody takes me seriously. So when something's really serious, I'm going to use my Bill Cosby accent and see if you take me seriously. And I think that'll be kind of neat. All right, is that it? All right. Also, it is important to distinguish reality from your feelings. I think a lot of people think that their feelings are reality. And the thing is, you're living in a world where geometry plays a very important factor in what goes on. And your feelings are accurate up to a certain point. But geometry does not care about your feelings. Algebra doesn't care about your feelings. Numbers don't care about your feelings. And so the thing is, you can be very sure about something. And I've gone through this many times. I was so sure that I know that I'm right about this. And here I am, homeless, 8 years. 8 years homeless, and everyone says you don't exist and we don't care about you. And these are people for years, they would said, we love you. We love you so much, Josh. You're like a brother to us. They literally even came to me while I was homeless and said, you're like a brother to me. And then they walked away. Okay, I'm telling you, you need, if you want to make adequate preparations for reality, okay, you gotta do some math. Math, M-A-T-H, not meth, math, M-A-T-H. It's very important. Because look, I mean, things, you guys, I don't know. Sometimes I think maybe that's what the Earth is. It's just a place for people who are really slow. like, and then just like you guys are like mentally and emotionally like very slow, and that's why I'm not like judgmental. Like, you guys may have like a real handicap, and when I say you guys, I'm not like saying like, oh, you know, I'm not a human being. I am a human being, but there are a lot of people wearing NASA shirts. Like you cannot go into outer space with a fixed amount of water if you are still going to be having sex and having children. Fixed amount of water, unlimited amount of sex and children production. Basic. Very, very basic. Are you paying attention? There. Oh yeah, and okay, alright. So I guess my marriage to, I was just listening to Emma Chamberlain's podcast. Apparently she's dating someone right now, and so I'm just thinking, I don't know. I guess this isn't gonna work out. My math is telling me that. So I'm not saying I'm not saying no. I'm not saying like, well, all right. Here's the thing. Like, I got like my signs, my signals are telling me certain things, right? And like I'm always like 10 steps ahead. And all right, I'm not always 10 steps ahead, but I mean I got certain things to indicate, and usually those things are accurate, but they're not based on feelings. It's usually because like I don't do anything based on feelings. Like, I mean, all my day-to-day things, like when I'm deciding about what trash can to eat out of, or like what piece of what piece of garbage on the floor that I want to eat, like that I use my feelings for, because I don't have enough time to do the computations. Oh shit. No. Oh, okay. But so I mean, all right, I'll admit, like when I heard it, I was a little sad. I didn't know she was dating somebody. But here's the thing, like I started like feeling like real like tears or whatever, but it didn't feel like it was like me. It was that same thing that I was saying, like when I'm asked to move, it was like with somebody else's, but somebody who's very close to me, and it was like, I don't know, I felt like I know what it's like when I'm crying, dude. Like it's like, or like when I feel sad, like I only feel sad like once. Like sad, like probably every 2 or 3 years. Most of the time I feel pretty good, and then sometimes I feel frustrated. But generally sadness is not something I'm particularly familiar with. Like, it's such an easy thing to resolve. Like, sadness is literally like, if you're sad, like you're just bad at math. That's all sadness is. Like, you have not taken into consideration like real angles. Like, it is definitely something you can do something about. And that kind of set me off, is what I'm saying. Like, she's saying like, she's telling millions of young people, you can't do anything about being sad. And I'm saying you definitely can do something about being sad. You do not have to be sad. And normally I don't react directly to this, but you can definitely do things about being sad. And that is a choice. Okay? Don't let anyone tell you that you have to be sad, or that you feel sad. That's something that you can't do anything about. You can definitely do something about it. You need to be firm. You need to know who you are in relation to your environment and the people you associate with. You need to know your own identity. So please, don't let anyone tell you that you have to be sad. Like, that's fucking absurd. I've been homeless for 8 years. You think sadness plays any factor in the things that I do? Frustration, maybe. Like, frustration, definitely. But not like I don't feel like, oh, woe is me. I'm not like fucking lamenting. You know, I'm not like Victor Frankenstein in the hospital, you know, lamenting the death of all his family or whatever. I mean, granted, all the people I cared about don't want to spend time with me, but I mean, you know, it's fucking life. Find some new friends and move on. Alright. I'm 34 years old, and I've got the best grades on earth.